Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, this is going to be kind of this is what I'm doing right now type of situation. In this corner where this door is, old door to the bathroom, which we no longer are going to use. And so, you know, once again, I am no carpenter or framer by any means, but I'm going to slap together what I'm going to consider a closet using the door that I've already started taking out of here. Hopefully, so far I've gotten the frame off around here fairly cleanly, so hopefully it keeps going that way. But right now I'm going to use a tool that is perfect for this. I need to cut this right here. And the tool I'm going to use is this right here. Yep, another Harbor Freight tool. I'm going to set my 2x4 right against there, and actually it's going to come in a little bit, and I'm going to put the 1/2 inch of sheetrock in here. So I cut that there, so I needed to cut it down here as well. I'm trying to save this piece in here because once I cut it down I'll be able to put it back in the closet so that it's nice and finished off inside the closet here with the same stuff. But what I did is I knew this is where I wanted to be. So I put my level on there like that, leveled it out, went down there, and used the level as a guide of where I should cut down there. So just a little quick tip there. Here where I had all the water damage at. It wasn't near as bad as I thought, but still we got to replace all this. And this is all going to be covered up by a built-in thing that I'm putting on this wall. So instead of tearing this all out, I'm just going to slice it across here using that tool, and I'm just going to put a piece of sheetrock down there, blend it all in. Should be alright. Actually, it'll come up into this section and get rid of all this down here. And normally you might want to just get rid of all this and put sheetrock here. Like I said, this is all going to be covered anyway, so you shouldn't be too noticeable if I take that across there, and especially if I put texture and stuff. Alright, when you have a 4-foot piece of sheetrock, you cut your line right at 4 foot, and the sheetrock needs to be up from the floor a little bit, and your line's not exactly 4 foot everywhere, you tend to not be able to get it in there. So don't do like me, give yourself a little extra space when you cut this line. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the upper little bit off of the whole edge of this sheetrock, because I think it'll be easier to cut that than to try and cut through the wall again here. So anyway, a little lesson there. Alright, full disclosure, I suck at sheetrock. You do want it up off the ground a little bit, so I take these wedges, door wedges, and turn them to the fat side and throw them underneath there on all the corners. Oh, can't get out of your way here enough. And that just kind of, well, both corners in the middle. That kind of sets it up off the ground a little bit. That just kind of gives you your floor movement and wall movement and all that. And then you'll cover that up with molding there. Now I realize I have that. That'll be a different video on how I'm fixing that. So stay tuned. Alright, well, some of you may have already noticed my stupid mistake. A little bit of Sam being stupid here. When I put this piece of sheetrock up, I should have flipped it around, and on the end of sheetrock, where hopefully you can see this, where I kind of scribbled here, on the first couple inches, it actually goes, there's like a bump here, and it actually goes in, so that it kind of gives you a place to spackle over. Well, I put that down at the bottom down there, so that doesn't do me any good. I'm going to go with it, like I said. First of all, I kind of always sucked at sheetrock. It's one of my nemesises. I can't say that word either, but it's one of those things that I just always seem to not do as well, and never seem to be able to figure it out so great. But each time I do it, I get a little bit better and a little bit better. But That's the great thing about it. You can actually use some mud over the top of it and hide a lot of your mistakes. And like I said, also this wall is going to be pretty well covered with built-ins, so you won't be able to see most of any of this when I'm done with it. I don't know if you can see this on this pencil line here. And I figured out where I could screw into the studs. Grabbed the level, leveled it up from that screw, middle of it, all the way down. Just gives you a nice place where you can put your screws all the way down without missing. And hopefully your wall is not like mine, where the previous butcher plumber cut the crap out of it and there's stuff kind of everywhere. So I'm gonna have to go behind here and do a little bit of detective work. Alright, well, we got a rectangle here. So far I got it pretty well where it's going to be. It's kind of hanging in midair up here. I'm going to go ahead and build the wall that goes across here, and that's going to have the door in it. And that was the hard part for me. That's when math starts coming in and I start losing my abilities. But I know that this is the door size that I want in there for the frame. So I started with that, and then I will kind of show you a picture of how I came up with what I'm hopefully going to build. Alright, and this is what I'm going to be building. I had to kind of write it out. And I'll tell you, this was the hardest part for me. Me and math don't get along great. But based on, I knew what the outside measurement was going to be here, and I knew what the door size was I needed. Based on those, I came up with this. Now I went through that one and a couple smaller ones that I made, and I realized on this one I decided we wanted the door in the center. So then I made that one, which kind of changed a lot of this stuff up. Then I made this one, and I thought it was right, and then I got to thinking, when I figured out the measurement of the door, I measured wrong, we'll just put it that way, and I would have been too wide of an opening here, and I would have had to shim it a whole bunch. So I brought those measurements down, and I think I got it. So hopefully, I think these are the cuts I'm going to make, and when I'm done, have it all put together, you'll have a better idea. And now I realize a couple things here. I decided to take that 2x4 and that 2x4, I believe they're like called cripple studs, something like that. I don't remember, it's been too long. Out, and I'm just going to screw them in here and in here. That gives me a couple 2x4s I don't need. I will still have these for the door structure, and that'll be plenty strong enough. This isn't holding up any, it's not any structural thing that needs to hold up weight or anything like that. And then up here, mostly you'd want to probably put a couple in here as well, but I'm thinking about actually leaving this open and actually having a cupboard up here that I can open up and put some stuff in, and then I'll just have it going straight across inside of the closet. So there it is, and behind there, that's the door frame that's going to go in. Fits good. So hopefully this kind of helped you maybe figure it out a little bit. Obviously your measurements are going to differ from mine, but I mean, it's just basically making a whole bunch of rectangles. The hardest part was figuring out how to center this door in here where I wanted the door, and you know, the measurements to make all that work, which even that's not that hard, because if you're off a little bit you're going to shim it anyways. Try and get you a bit of a angled shot here from the side, but that's what I'm doing right now. Yet again, I realize this wasn't a super how-to, but honestly I am no carpenter, so when it comes to doing things, I just kind of look at what other people done and figure it out for myself. So when I get it done a little bit further, you'll see it, but I think I'm going to call this a video now. This is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. Y'all have a good one.